Hey guys, Vera Sweeney from Happily Organized, and wanted to share 5 things that I've learned since starting budgeting. Now, I'm one of these newbies. I'm somebody who's just started down the road, but after doing it for several months, I've picked up some really beneficial reasons why you should start tracking your money. You should start really paying attention to where your money goes every single month, what comes in, what comes out. And these are the benefits that I've found just for the short amount of time that I've been in the game. So first and foremost, I've learned over the last couple of months that the majority of our money, the vast majority of excess spending used to go on food, takeout and restaurants. And you're saying, oh, it's COVID. Thank goodness it's COVID, because if it wasn't COVID, that number would probably be 3 or 4 times the number that it actually was. We tend to order takeout on, 2, 3, 4 times a week. And ever since we started a budget, a monthly, weekly food budget, and we have to stick to it, that number has definitely decreased, and we've tried everything that we can to stay within our limits that we put upon ourselves. And in the beginning, it was hard. Sometimes we would say, oh, it's okay. We'll just do 1 extra Chinese food takeout. And then eventually we were like, no, we have reached our limit. We cannot go over our food budget for the week. And that's what happens when you start committing to the process. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, this isn't a switch that you just turn on and then all of a sudden every family member is in. It takes some time, but once you get it, you really start to see just how much money, your hard-earned money, goes towards takeout. And listen, I'm somebody that sometimes I've had a really big work day and I'm exhausted and I don't have the capability to get my life together and get a meal on the table. And yeah, we all deserve that takeout every now and then, but we were just doing it because it's Friday or because it's Taco Tuesday. I mean, we just had things in the calendar. It was already spent money before the day even arrived. And that stuff has to stop. And it did. And so, I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have plugged into our habits, our routines, had I not started tracking where our money has gone or was going. Okay, so number 2 is know that your bills are not set in stone. So we have been writing our bills every single month, and we have been seeing them fluctuate. And we have been looking at things and saying, what can we do to lower each and every bill? And that meant changing carriers. That meant getting rid of certain services. That meant lowering a heat by 1 degree. Whatever it is that you have to do, calling in and saying, I'm a long-time customer. What can you do for me? And if you're not going to do anything for me, I'm literally going to leave. These companies don't really expect you to do things like that. And there's not a lot of people that actually do it. If you can save yourself $10, $15 a month by making 1 simple phone call, why wouldn't you do that? There's no reason. I mean, we literally, we were with a new TV provider, and we called them and we said, can you do anything for us? And they said no. And then we went to another cable provider and it stunk. 3 weeks later, we called back the original cable provider and they gave us a new customer discount deal, and all of a sudden we're saving all this money. And what did it take out of our lives just to make that switch and then make the switch again? I mean, it really wasn't that big of a deal. And now we have all these benefits and all these savings just for doing a little bit of effort. So really look into that type of thing and see where you can cut and trim your bills and your services and save that money that way. That's really important. And again, I wouldn't have even thought about it had I not had to write down those bills every single month in my budget planner. Okay, so number 3, if you don't know how much you have, then how on earth do you know how much you have? How many people can actually sit down and say, okay, this is how much I have in my 401, this is how much I've saved towards my IRA, this is how much extra stocks that we have going on in our kids' account, this is how much every account, savings, checking, I can go on and on. Do you have a piece of paper that you can sort of access and get that overarching high level photo of your life. Because I didn't before December. And now that I do, it's sort of like, whew, I feel so much better now, because before I thought we were gonna die. And now that I see our savings and our stocks and our this and our that, I just feel so much better. And you have to do that. You have to get every coin and put it in the pot and see what's going on. And let me tell you something, if there aren't a lot of coins, then this is day one. This is day one. And you don't look at that as a deterring thing. You look at that as an empowering thing. It's the now I know. This is the now I know phase. You look at it and you say, okay, we don't have any IRAs set up. We gotta do that. We don't have any investment strategies going on here. Let's do $100 a month. Acorns is a really great way to start doing that. I don't know if you guys know about Acorns, but every time you swipe your card, whatever the change is to get it up to the next denominator. So if it's $4.50, they'll take 50 cents and then they'll invest that 50 cents for you. And it does add up. It adds up in a way when you're not even thinking about it. And when that's, I'm going to talk, the very next thing that I say is small moves add up to big wins. And so when you're looking at your life and you're trying to get a plan in place, the worst thing that you can do is say, oh, I can't save $1,000 a month. I really want to save $1,000 a month and I can't. Then I can't do this. No, you can't do that. Small wins add up to big rewards. So if you're going to start and you're going to say, the only thing I could do is Acorns right now. The only thing I could do is save my change. Then do that. The only thing I could do is put $25 extra to every credit card bill that I have right now. Do it. Do it. The only thing I could do is eat buttered pasta 3 times a week, because I know that'll really cut down my cost. Do it. Those small wins will add up to you seeing a big change in your tick over time. The thing that won't help is if you don't do anything. That fear of like, I can't fix this, so I'm not going to do anything. That's the worst kind of attitude. Make small moves. So this might be a long video, so I'm going to just apologize right now, but I started talking to a trainer, and I always associate finance and business with working out and exercise, because I am split. I have the business side in me. I'm capable in the business world. I'm capable and functioning in the business world. I can take care of my job. I can have 104 fever. I'm still doing something. And when I tell people I took the day off, that means I only worked 5 hours instead of 12. I have that in me. I do not have any bit of exercise, anything in me. I don't have an urge to exercise. If I get off the couch, I'm literally winded. I have no desire to do anything. Of course, I want to look good, but it's not, I'm still going to eat that devil dog. I don't own it. I don't have that motivation in me. I have it for business, highly motivated. I don't have it for anything in the physical world. I don't care enough to go and run 5 miles. These people are crazy. When I see that, I'm like, you are all crazy. How did you get born like that? I'm not born like that, right? So when I started talking to a trainer, and he's like, I'm going to get you to 10,000 steps a day. That's our goal. We're going to get you walking 10,000 steps a day. And I'm like, oh, I only walk like 1,000 steps a day. And I really did. I really only walked 1,000 steps a day. And he was like, okay. He was like, so this week, we just want you to walk to 1,500 steps a day. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's so low. Like, why would we start that? That's ridiculous. I could do 3. And he's like, nope. He's like, don't do that. 1,500 steps a day. We're going to make it slow and steady. This is a marathon. This isn't a sprint. Take your time. Don't worry about it. And just eat a little bit of salad every now and then. That's the mentality. And then the next week he said, now we're going to get you to 2,500. Now we're going to get you to 3,500. And slowly but surely, I was increasing my activity little by little, and it wasn't bothering me. It was actually becoming normal. And for somebody who was a couch potato, who worked on the couch all day, for me to get to 5,000 steps a day, I literally never thought that was going to happen. And if you're active, you're hearing me and going 5,000 steps a day, that's what I walk to get to coffee. Yeah, good for you. That's not people. No, I don't want to say normal people because that's not correct. That's not the correct term, but that wasn't me. I couldn't do that. And so he really slowly adjusted my mentality where I was like, cool, I was getting 5,000 steps a day and I wasn't thinking about it. I got on the treadmill. I was doing a mile in the morning before I started my day. I get up at 5, so that's like no problem for me to go downstairs and just do a mile, 20 minutes. What's the difference? I was walking it, but I was doing it. Same concept for this budgeting finance. If your mental block is saving, getting out of debt, having control of your money, and you can't understand how people are doing it, it's the small moves, the small steps. So you can't run that 10K. You can't save the 10,000. You can't get that $36,000 credit card bill down in a month. But what's the small move you can do? And I think it's the same mentality. It's the same principle. What's a small move you can do this week? No takeout. Or a pantry challenge where you literally just try to edit down every single thing you have in your pantry. I do that all the time. You know, I look through and I do that all the time. I look through and I'm like, okay, I have olives, I have artichokes, and I have a can of lima beans. We're gonna make this work. You know, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work, but that also helps you really save money. Food is where we spend the most money. It's not really anything else. It's food, and especially with COVID, what else are we spending money on? The last tip is it's really not as hard to start. It's really not as hard to track your spending and budgeting and, you know, cash envelopes if you really want to go there. It's really not that hard to do it once you get into a groove. It's all about habits, and it's all about getting into that mentality that you are tracking. So when you go to the mall, hopefully, that's a trigger for me, so I avoid those things. But if you go to the mall, you're like, I can't spend $400. I only have, $200 in miscellaneous, and that includes everything that has to come out of my house this week. So I literally can't spend $400 on clothes. I don't have it in my budget. It just becomes part of your life. Like, you just start thinking that way. And you never thought that you would, because I am somebody who Amazon stock is thousands of dollars. It's because of me. It's me. I'm the person. I always, Amazon Prime, Amazon Prime, Amazon Prime, Amazon Prime. It's me. I'm literally responsible for those people being billionaires. And it's easier to break than you think. You know, holidays are coming around and you're going, oh, I gotta get these kids this, that, and the other. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on every kid. They don't deserve it. You know, you just get them a little something and they'll be grateful for it. I used to get a chocolate box on Valentine's Day. Why is this becoming getting kids Xbox games? And, you know, like, you start like looking at stuff and you're going, it's okay. We will survive on a $30 gift. We're gonna make this. We will live to tell the tale about how you all survived holidays without getting hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of candy. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be okay. I have a bonus tip, and the bonus tip is you're sort of already doing it. If you don't have a clue where to begin and you're very overwhelmed, I just sort of did a deep dive on YouTube. And I just started listening to people tell their stories. And I listened to the wins, and I listened to the losses, and I listened to the tips, and I watched people pay their bills, and I sort of got invested into the process, and I liked it. I liked hearing people say, I had a great month, I paid off that big credit card bill, and now I'm up to the second credit card bill. It's motivational. You know, I'm not a reality show person. A lot of my girlfriends, they sort of make fun of me because everybody loves reality shows, and And that's fine. I mean, if that's somebody's escape, that's somebody's escape. My escape has always been YouTube. And it always will be YouTube. My reality show, if you have to call it that, my reality show is watching people do their things that I choose on YouTube. So I watch a lot of people that are into budgeting videos. I watch a lot of people that are normal cooks. I do follow some chefs, but I like to watch the everyday woman also. I like to watch the everyday woman that opens up a can of Manwich, and she shows me how she makes it into something for her family, doing something I would have maybe never thought of, because that's also real life. Like, I don't need it to be the Food Network 24 hours a day, because that's just not realistic anymore. Like, I think we're all just tired of it, right? Like, I'm just tired of it. And so my reality shows are these women who are just propping up cameras and just telling people, this is what has been happening to me. This is my story. And I hope you learn from the 5 times I fell down along the way. And so when I say I don't watch reality TV, I guess I don't watch reality TV, but I watch reality YouTube, and I watch it obsessively. I watch it all the time. I always have something playing in the background. So if you don't know where to begin, consider looking up some people who are doing budgeting videos, or offering up some sort of financial advice. Take them with a grain of salt. If these people are telling you to invest in particular portfolios, I most certainly would not do that. But listen to them talking about doing side jobs or how they went real lean. I love listening how people go real lean. I love frugal people. I mean, I am not very frugal. But I love to listen and get ideas about how people can go as lean as possible, because sometimes I do take away those inspirational tips and I apply them to my life. I'm not going to do them all, but I love those people. I love frugal, like remember what Extreme Cheapskates? Those are my favorite people. So I don't do it. I would never live that way, but it's fun to watch. So do your little homework and find a couple of channels that you'd like to watch, and definitely give budgeting a try. I hope these tips have helped or inspired you in some way to start managing and watching where your money goes and how much comes in and out on an every week basis. It certainly opened our eyes to many things and patterns that we weren't aware of before. And until next time.